Alrighty, everybody, welcome back to the channel. So today, since the piggies are all taken care of and they're in their pen and my garden is growing and there's not much, yard work to do anymore except mow and maintain the garden, keep the piggies fed, make sure they're doing good, take care of my dogs. I got stuff to do in my shop. So I'm going to be working in my shop today. So I hope you guys follow along. But first, I want to give a special thanks to all my subscribers, everybody that's subscribed lately. I really do appreciate that. So, with all that being said, yabba dabba doo, let's get right into the video. Alrighty, folks. We're down here in my shop. I got this old hoe. It's a garden hoe. It's an old hawk, spade, whatever you want to call it. But anyways, got a new handle for it. And it fits, but it's loose. I don't know if you can see that. But it looks like it used to be the right size, this thing. But it's so wore out on the outer edges that now this doesn't fit in there. But I have a plan to, it was either buy one that's bigger, that's wooden, and turn it down to where it just fits in there, or get this and modify it. So I got this and I'm going to modify it. And it requires a welder and metal pipe. So what I'm going to do is I got this metal pipe, but it's too big to fit in there. So I'm going to cut me a piece off that fits perfectly in there. Take that small piece, cut a small section out of it, bend it to where it fits perfectly in there and tight around that, around the top of my handle. And then I'm going to weld it in here. And then right here is a hole on one side. Just stand here. See that? It's a hole. So what I'm going to do once I have that welded in there is I'm going to drill a hole all the way through. And then same with the handle. Put a hole all the way through. And then put a bolt in there. That way, because that thing is going to have to get pounded in there. And I'll probably have to put this, slide this up the handle, rest it on something, and beat the handle down in so it fits properly. And I think that's how you do it anyways, is you slide it up the handle and pound it in, because most of the handles were bigger on that end, and this thing is bigger on this side. So anyways, we're going to do it like that. And then obviously going to put a bolt in there, so if it ever loosens a little bit, that bolt is going to keep it from falling off. We're also going to take this and make it look new. We're going to brush this all down, and then we're going to sharpen the edge. This edge is all beat up. We're going to sharpen that, so when you're out in the garden and you're hawking away at the weeds, it goes in the ground pretty nice. So yeah, we're going to get started. Oh, and then I'm going to tape this end off. And then right here, there's a line. Tape that off and then paint this, repaint this gray or something. It's blue, but I'll probably repaint it gray to make it look new. With that handle and then this painted, it's going to look brand new for 30 bucks. So, yeah. And some welding. So we're going to get busy. Ta-da! So hopefully that doesn't fall out of there. When you do this, always remember to unplug your grinder, because you can change the blade pretty quickly. You just use your hands. Plug it back in. Ready to go. So what I'm going to do is just cut a tiny little strip out of there for now. I think you're starting to get the idea of what I'm doing here. As you can see, I got it just right and I'm getting ready to weld it. Got my welder out. Got my bare feet. So, on that note, if you're ever wondering what my normal footwear is at home, I'm either barefooted, walking all over the place, or these. And I got these wore out like crazy. I should probably have new ones. But yeah, this is my normal attire. I know it's not very cautious and safe when you're welding, but I can dance faster when I'm barefooted. I also have all that scrap that I need to get rid of today. And I usually have a buildup after a while. Show you guys something going on out here. Got some painting going on this old mirror that we're going to utilize. And look, I don't even have to do it. Someone else is doing it for me. Anyways, I'll get back to work. Some cold coffee. Using my old-fashioned thingamajigger, because my other one needs batteries or something. So I wanted to just weld this in so I can grind it flat. You can see these flux core welders, they weld a little different. I mean, you can get it pretty strong though. Once I grind that down, those weird bumps won't look so weird anymore. But it'll look welded, but it won't look so weird. Not bad for a beginner. So I think I got that edge pretty good. And there you can see it's kind of bumpy and stuff. I might take the welder over that, pop some bead in there, and then grind that off smooth again. So, and then somehow, I don't have a Dremel, but somehow I'll have to smooth these beads out on the inside there somehow. So I think I have a file somewhere. So now that this is dry, I'm going to take this and I'm going to slide it over the top part of the handle all the way down and all the way there. Now I'll have to beat that down in there, and that's what this big hammer's for. And I want it to leave a nice straight edge. You guys can see that. Nice, perfect straight edge. And that's how you buy them. Is like that. Got a straight edge there. And on that side. And a nice sharp cutting edge to chop into the dirt. So now I'm going to drill my hole through there, and I got to angle it just right so I come out over here just right so my bolt fits. You guys actually don't need to see me drilling this. I'm just going to turn the camera off, and we're going to perform a miracle, and then we're going to finish putting it together. So it's sad to say I got defeated on this. I was able to make it all the way through because there was already a pre-drilled hole there, but I can't make it through the other side. So I think this is hardened metal. So I'm gonna have to get a bit that I can go through hardened metal with. I'm not totally defeated because I got it on there, got most of the hole there, and I can take my bolt and I can slide it in that far. So all I need to do is come out the other end. I don't think this is necessarily meant for that, but I want to make so if the handle loosens a little bit, that the head won't just go flying, and that you can take it off and you can replace the handle or something else. Check it out, guys. Our garden is doing well. The marigolds are all blooming. Maybe not all, but for the most part, all the way around. I'll just walk around here. They're all blooming. Check out the potatoes though. That is just crazy. I mean, they're blooming, and so far, we haven't seen any bugs on these things, which is good. You know, we sprayed them a couple times, and so far we haven't seen any bugs on these potatoes. So hopefully we can keep it that way. Our beans, they're not doing too good, but we do have like 5 or 6 stalks coming out, which is okay. We'll still have beans. This tomato, I planted the seed for that thing, and it grew right there in that little greenhouse, along with three other ones, but those died, unfortunately. So we had to get 2 different ones. So this one, I believe, is a yellow pear tomato. If you guys keep seeing like this flapping around, it's my phone cover. Because I have my screen zoomed all the way out, and then it gets a broader view. Anyways, this I think is a yellow cherry, and that is like a nice big tomato. The cucumber is doing very well. It almost died. Speaking of dying, this thing here is a watermelon, and it's a yellow watermelon, like the inside is yellow, and it almost died. And then it had aphids on them, and we took care of them, and it's still growing. Like, I hope this thing just keeps growing, and it has the juiciest fruit that a watermelon has ever given. And that's what I'm hoping, because it's just a little plant that is just, having a hard go at it, and it's still growing. Within the last week, it's grown probably 2-3 inches. So basically, from where this is, like this on up, it's grown in a week. So it is starting to do really good. That was also a watermelon. Fortunately, it died. Unfortunately, it died, not fortunately. So our peppers are doing okay, but they're green. Supposedly they were going to be red bell peppers, but they're green. They might turn red, I don't know. I'm not sure how they do. Never grew color changing peppers. And these are supposed to be yellow, but again, it's green, so I don't know. Maybe it will, that's what this came with. It says yellow bell, and the other one said red bell. So I guess we'll find out if they change color, if they start out green and change color. If you look at a tomato, it starts out green, and then it turns red, or it turns yellow, or whatever color, But the cucumber plant is doing excellent. It almost died. It looked just like the watermelon plant, and it almost died. And all at once, this thing just like took off. And the vines were all tangled up together and going all that way. So yesterday I untangled them and made them all go their separate way. And they really did so much better once I did that. So, I'm still learning on how to grow a nice garden. Last year we had a really nice garden, but I've never grown tomatoes or potatoes and watermelons. Just, I've grown watermelons as a kid just for fun, but it was those huge ones. But I've never had like plants that just almost died, and you had to just like nurture them and try to get them to not die and do better. But yeah, and this year obviously we have the mulch. I have not had to weed the garden once, which is awesome. because it takes so much time to weed the garden, and it's not necessary. You know, you can get this plastic on Amazon for pretty cheap, and the mulch, I mean, you can get this mulch for pretty cheap. Another thing I'm pretty happy about is how my corn is doing. I have never planted corn like this, and it actually came up properly. Obviously right here you can see part of that row is missing. You know, I planted it real close together. Part of that row is missing. Wait, I went that way, it's up through there. So I planted 10 rows. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. And for the most part, most of it is coming up. You know, on the camera it looks kind of scarce, but it's actually not. I mean, it's coming up really nice, and I'm just stoked because I planted this for my little hunting corner. And you know, last year I did the same thing, and I had like just a tiny little 10 by 10 section that actually grew, and none of the rest grew, and it looked like the birds had gotten it. But this year, this stuff is coming up so nice. All that hard work and stuff that I put into tilling this with my electric tiller, and the ground was so hard, it was super dusty. It's actually paying off, and I was kind of nervous because I was afraid that it's not gonna, you know, it's not gonna grow. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's just a couple things that small projects that I had to do. So until next time, guys, peace out.